Now we have two types of R. We have capital R and common R. In the first instant, we want to make the capital R the subject. And so we're going to have 3R over capital R minus common R. So notice that the capital R we have here trying to make the subject is in two places. So what do? Well, we want to get them together and factor out the R to have it only in one place. And so we can do that by simply getting rid of this denominator. It's always good to get rid of the denominators. We can do that by multiplying both sides of the equation by R minus R, capital R minus common R. Okay, so again, another way to do this is simply making two fractions. So we have V over 1 equals the fraction 3R divided by capital R minus common R. So now, here's what I'm going to do. Cross multiplying these guys, we have 3R times 1 is really 3R. And V times R minus 1 is V times R minus 1. Okay, minus R, actually. Yeah. So now, how do we get these two capital R's together? Well, this one is in brackets, so we need to expand the brackets using the distributive property. Since we have a minus inside the bracket, whether it's a minus or plus, we can expand using distributive property. So it's V times R is going to be RV. And V times common R is common RV, or we can say VR. But the idea is focus is really on this capital R here. Now, if I take this RV over this side, what will happen is that we'll have a negative term over here just by itself. But we can do better by taking this R term over this side and taking this one over this side. Yeah. Okay, that's not the balance method. That's the transposing method. So you know what? Let's be consistent again and use the balance method. Okay, so the idea I'm going to use is I'm going to subtract. I'm going to get rid of this minus VR from this side by adding VR to both sides. And so this cancels out. And so what I have here now is what? Is going to be 3R plus V, common letter R, equals R capital RV. So now I need to remove this 3R from this side. It's connected to VR by addition because it's a positive sign in front. So we're saying it's really VR plus 3R. So I'm going to get rid of this 3R by subtraction. So we have VR equals, that's common letter R, RV, capital R, minus 3R. So now we can actually factor out the R. Let's factor out the R. Now, by distributive property, we'll have what? V minus 3. Because R times V is RV, and R times 3 is 3R. So now that we have R, we have one quantity in capital R in the formula, we can now get or isolate this capital R. Notice that this capital R is multiplying by the binomial V minus 3. So we can divide by V minus 3, the quantity V minus 3. Could divide over here as well by the quantity V minus 3. This cancels this. And so what we are left with is R equals VR over V minus 3. This is our solution. Okay, so what about if we were trying to find the common letter R? Well, that's interesting. But notice, we'll do the same approach. We'll do the same approach as we actually went through. So you can just go over this video and notice how we worked right up to this point here. So I'm going to just start from that point with part 2 due to time. I'm going to take this portion here. So like you start over working, this is what I did earlier up to this point. So let's write that. V, common letter R, equals capital R, V minus 3R. I notice that we actually, let's do this. What I'm going to do, I'm going to divide by V on both sides. Because what this allows me to do, because I notice that this V is multiplying the common R, and common R is in only one place in the equation. This cancels out this. So we have R equals, and we can actually factor out this R in the numerator. We usually do that when we making the subject of the formula, rather than having it in two places looking confusing. we have the v here, so we have this solution here.